I think we have to separate the real risks versus the sentiment risks. The sentiment risks are not going to go away. I think that American investors are going to be really, really cautious about China for the foreseeable future because I don't see any improvement coming in U.S.-China relations through the end of next year at least because of the U.S. political cycle. But I've just finished a month traveling outside of the U.S., talking to investors in the U.K. and the Middle East and across Europe. And attitudes there are much different, much more open, especially in the UK and the Middle East, towards investing in China, keeping an eye on what's happening between Washington and Beijing, but not being afraid of that. And I think one of the reasons is we have to remember that the Chinese economy is now a domestic demand-driven economy like ours. And these political tensions are really not going to have a significant impact, I think, on the gradual consumer-led economic recovery that's underway in China right now.
But do you think that it's going to, I suppose, hamstring China's own AI development or China's own technological development? Because I would imagine that in so much as we can say that there's these talks, that there's still going to be these incremental increases in the curbs and the measures that, whether it's the Biden administration, whether it's any kind of administration, be it another term for Biden or anyone else. So how does that play through for China? Are they going to be able to succeed as well as they probably should without these impositions?
Well, I'm not a scientist, but having spoken to a lot of people who are, I agree with the comments that you showed from the Amazon CEO a little while ago. I think what the Biden administration is talking about is not going to significantly slow down Chinese progress. In fact, I would argue that the Biden administration is making a big mistake here, because I think if we look back over many decades, when China's science has been backed into a corner by sanctions, it's accelerated their domestic development. So we should be happy in the United States that Xi Jinping's laptop probably has an Intel chip inside, that his cell phone probably has a Qualcomm chip inside, rather than trying to cut them off and put their back to the wall and then really focus their energy on developing their own replacements for those. In the meantime, I think that the restrictions on chips and chip-making equipment is probably going to mean that high-end computing in China is going to be a little bit more energy intensive, a little bit slower, but not enough to really have an impact on the Chinese economy, I think.